Hello, guys, gals, and non-binary pals. This is that D&D podcast, and we are in for issue one, hopefully, of Argent City Heroes, otherwise known as Time Force Alpha Prime. I am Zach, your editor-in-chief. So that means I will be hopefully sort of running the show. And with me tonight are three of my erstwhile compatriots, and hopefully, I like that word of tonight, apparently, our heroes.
Heroes? You looked up heroes? That's good. We could use a refresher.
No, like I use the word hopefully like 4 times in the intro. It's fine. I'm a professional. Why don't we introduce ourselves? Starting in, I guess, Discord order, which is Jonathan first.
Yes, because it makes complete sense. Hi, I'm Jonathan, and I will be playing Rucksack tonight. I'm sorry, kind of nothing. He's a space adventurer dude who can kind of just pull stuff out of nowhere and put it there afterwards, too.
Hi, I'm Adam. I'll be playing, I think, the Revenant. We'll see how that goes. And he is currently an undead hero who death has a hold over.
Hi.
So,
Oh, sorry.
No, that's it.
Hi y'all. Mike Jerickson Brad here. Not GM Mike tonight. I am playing Serenity Reynolds, aka Firefly, because can't stop the signal. Firefly is mainly a character that goes around burning things and flying around and swears she's not a villain. I promise.
It's a very important thing to swear. I'm glad we now have a code name for Adam's character because they're just in my planning documents as Death Bomb because
Nice.
that's where we left off last time.
But that's an amazing name for a band.
Yeah.
So for those who are joining us for the first time or have forgotten what happened 3 weeks ago, last time we went through a lot of the sort of character gen, setting gen for the system and the game. These three wonderful folks threw me for a number of loops, which I'm looking forward to digging into. And so we wound up with a city that is divided in time. There are 3 sections of Argent City. There is Silver City, which is the Silver Age comic book, shiny, techno-corporate area that you can probably expect, like, apes from space and portals to the negative zone to originate in. We have the Bronze Bridges, which is the Bronze Age 70s to late 80s, maybe early 90s. Just slightly depressed, ethnically diverse. Yeah, that area. And then it features kung fu and magic sometimes, and a lot of civil decay, urban decay. And then we also have Steelport, which is the Steel Age, Dark Ages. There's a lot of names for it. From the 90s sort of to the mid 2000s. The dock workers and industrial part of our city that is slightly harder core than the other 2 areas in terms of what goes on there, because that's how the comics work. And it just so happens that each of our 3 heroes is from a different area, or at least is currently taking up residence in a different time, different place. Rucksack, our extraterrestrial nomad who has returned home, our prodigal adventurer, is in the Silver Age, because that totally makes sense as a theme for him. Space tech, all that stuff is silver. Firefly is a reformed criminal living in the Bronze Age, over in Bronze Bridges, and the Revenant, who now has a code name, which I'm very happy about, is over in the brutal urban decay capitalist wasteland that is Steelport. So yeah, that's cool. We left some balls in the air in terms of character generation last time, right? We still have not done. We basically none of you have bonds filled out. Am I remembering that correctly?
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
Okay. We can either do those now or we can kind of do them in play. I'm not super worried about you filling out all of your bonds right away. I feel like it'll probably be more fun if you can just like instantly bond yourself to an NPC for some reason. Or come up with someone who is important for me to then put in danger somehow. So if it's all right with the three of you, I will probably we'll probably hold off on that immediately unless there's something you specifically want to establish through your bonds before we start. And I will probably at various times ask you to establish a bond in the fiction as we go. Does that sound agreeable?
I know that there was some talk about my character, whether everyone else thought he was dead.
Yes, that was an outstanding question from last time.
And since I did take I can't remember what it was, with the harder to form meaningful connections.
Oh yeah. The
chart
powers, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't have a very high bond threshold. I only have like a 5.
Okay.
So I'm going to assume that most people do think I am dead, if not all of my previous. So most of my bonds are probably going to be with either the fellow heroes or like the city, because I imagine he's probably more well known on the streets than he is as the hero, not as a person anymore.
And you're the Revenants?
Yes.
Yes. So all right, that all makes sense. Each of you starts with a level 1 bond with each of the other 2 heroes, right? So those are your initial starting bonds. If you want to bump those up, you can. If Firefly wants to be super tight with the Revenant for some reason, that's a thing that can happen. Or if everybody's like rucksack's where the party's at, then you can go some bonds over there.
All right, that has to be like a catchphrase now.
Rucksack's where the party is at.
Yeah, I'm writing that down as a canon.
Okay, we'll just make a note right here in his character bio. Rucksack is where the party's at. So yeah, and you can decide with that. Bonds are not immediately probably going to come up just because they're a recovery and a success mechanism. So if you decide later on, if you haven't hit your bond threshold yet, after you fill up, I'm going to sort of make you earn the bonds. But here for your initial set, we're just kind of going to throw them out. And if you decide that you want to burn a bond, because what bonds do is they determine how much you're healed, how many conditions to go away from the fit in action when you take that during downtime. So essentially you heal yourself using them. Or you can burn them, so lose a bond to guarantee success on a roll. To bump yourself up 1 success degree, no matter how the roll turns out. So you can guarantee yourself at least a 7 to 9 on a roll by burning a bond. That just means your relationship with that person goes down, and then we have to create a reason why that happened. Right? So if you want later on, before you've established all your bonds, if you want to create a bond just to burn it and create some drama for yourself, that's totally acceptable as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, unless somebody wants to throw some bond ideas out right away, I think we can just sort of jump in to issue 1 here.
I have 1 bond with the city.
Okay.
I think that's by default.
Okay.
2 with family, 2 with college, 1 with rucksack, and 1 with the Revenant.
Family, 2 with college, One was Rucksack and one was Roman. Okay, cool.
So, and this is an important question. Rucksack, I'm not sure that we've crossed this bridge yet, you and I together. But is Rucksack 2 words or 1?
I have it as 2 words.
I have it as first and last name, right?
So, Mr. Sack? Is Rucksack an elderly gentleman by any chance?
He's like early 30s.
Okay.
Or apparently early 30s.
So to my college freshman, yes.
Okay. Well, you used to be older, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So you have like this weird relationship with ages. And this person's way older than you now, but I don't know how old you were the first time around.
Yeah, maybe Firefly doesn't remember either.
Ooh, okay. So how much of that has been erased from Firefly?
Probably most of it. Like, I imagine that there has to be like a reason and like something that was taken, right?
Okay.
So
Firefly, I'm going to be typing this down because this is good stuff. Doesn't remember a lot of her old life. Does she remember what she was?
She remembers that she was bad, and that she's here in atonement.
Okay. Cool. That's all stuff I can work with. And we'll come back to those other 2 bonds, the family and the college and all that stuff, momentarily, probably.
Awesome.
Do either of the other 2 have ideas about bonds? Things you want to make sure are included? People I can, throw at you in awkward ways?
How I want to handle it yet, but I'm pretty certain that Ruck has some family still around here. I don't know if he's reconnected, but he's definitely keeping tabs on them.
Okay.
I feel like a nephew, I think.
Okay.
Like reintroduced himself to it or anything because he feels really awkward about it, but he still is concerned about them.
Well, does the nephew know him as not Uncle Ruck?
Like, I'm thinking the nephew's super young. Like, they might have, like, just been born when he went away.
Okay, and how old would that make them now?
I'm going to say somewhere around 10, early teens.
Okay. Early teens. Does Rucksack have a job?
Think so.
You don't think so?
No.
All right. Are you, like, living out of your symbiote at this point, basically? Like,
well,
is your van down by the river?
Right, well, let me put it this way: we were talking about advantages, which are kind of like the cool like tech things or whatever. Mine written down right now is someone else's wallet. With his skill set, I just kind of think he has what he wants.
Right. So you are originally from the Silver Age, though, right? Like, if you've got a nephew here, you're from the time period you came back to, the part of the city you're in.
Yes, I'm gonna go tentatively with yes. I'm trying to think if it would be cooler.
Unless you want the nephew to be in the Steel Age or over in the Bronze Age. I mean, that works too.
Because I could kind of see like a more thing for him. Because like Rucksack came from very humble beginnings, kind of thing, right? Which is like a Silver Age origin story. But like you tell me Silver Age, and I think more advanced, like almost kind of like today's level of tech. Whereas like Steel Age or Bronze Age, you're talking about older levels.
It's been interesting to deal with that as like trying to design the city around the fact that the older part has higher tech than yes, that is absolutely true. The Silver Age had all sorts of crazy technology, and then the Bronze Age was like, I punch a dude. So yeah, were you like part of an experimental program that threw teenagers into space? Were you?
I really think like the idea in my head is he interrupted like the bad aliens coming and doing something on there. Like he sneaks aboard their ship and just stows away for a while.
Okay.
Until he was off planet, and then he ends up finding the symbiote through some sort of weird thing. Like I think the symbiote's partly what they were collecting. And he inadvertently, in classic Klutz fashion, exposes himself to it, and he gets that whole synergy thing going on, and he gets free and goes and wanders the galaxy for a while.
Okay. And then makes his way back home. All right. Okay. I can work with all that. Do you want to claim a bond with like your family that doesn't know about you yet?
18's nephew written down as 1.
Okay. Okay.
Then partly because you're asking about what does he do around the place, I have Low Life CD Bar as 1 as well.
You have a bond with the Low Life CD Bar.
He's known there. He knows most of the regulars and stuff like that. And like, maybe the people there aren't all criminals, but most of them don't care if you are.
Does everybody know your name?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so you are. If we think about the Silver City as being sort of the metropolis, this like Silver Age metropolis analog, right? You found a bar in the equivalent of Crime Alley that you hang out at.
Who's the Man Mountain Mako or something? Like, oh shoot, who is that? Because isn't he like just a normal dude who like keeps pissing off Superman or something?
Yeah, there's a couple of people like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and like he's a big, huge thug to other people, but to Superman, he's just like, what the shit, man?
Okay. All right. What is the name of this seedy bar?
I haven't gotten one yet. I gotta think of something.
All right, we'll come back to that, but that's definitely going to the setting Bible. That is definitely a landmark in Silver City now. How about you, Mr. Revenant? It is Mr. Revenant, right? We determined it's
Yes.
male undead. Okay.
Yes. So yeah, for bonds, like I said, I don't have very much right now. So I'm just putting 2 in city. Then I have the 1 for the other 2 heroes, and then I'll just leave 1 unclaimed for now.
Okay.
And also I've decided, just for visual wise, if you're familiar with, God, name escapes me. 1 second. From My Hero Academia.
Yes.
Okay.
Character of All Might. And I will drop it in roll 20 so people can bring it up on the stream. I'm going to go with a similar look where it's sort of an emaciated, angular character, but it has the black eyes, not the iris, the white of your eyes is black with the green pupils. Is it sclera? Oh, thank you, Mike.
Okay.
So that's kind of what it looks like when he's not in costume, effectively.
Okay.
Yeah, we talked about the cloak thing last time, and I'm going to go with that still for the costume. But so yeah, just as normal day to day, that's kind of what makes it hard. Is that people are really kind of, put off by the visual.
The fact that he's still yeah, he doesn't look quite right all the time, right?
No.
Okay. Cool. That all sounds great. Okay, is there any other bookkeeping that we obviously need to do before we jump in? I don't think so. Unless someone has something they want to talk about before we jump to the action of the day.
I have 2 difficult power slots that haven't been filled. Do you care if we just fill them up as we go?
Not at all.
Okay.
Not at all. Yeah, that should be fine.
Okay.
That should be fine. Whatever turns out to be useful. Yes, please fill those slots. Okay, who wants to go first as we do establishing shots?
Don't everyone raise their hand at once.
We can start. Let's start furthest back with Rucksack. You around, Jonathan?
I'm here.
All right, cool. So, have you thought of a name for the bar yet?
Oh, shit. Oh.
Beers.
Just beers, the bar. It's like just the laziest bar in existence.
Beer spot.
I'm writing that down now. Beers. CD bar. Okay, so you are. How much time do you spend at beers? Like, if I were to tell you it's like 11 o'clock in the morning,
Would I be there?
Yeah.
Like I think he would stop in early in the day, just to get a good breakfast of alcohol. And
Like alcohol and the pickled eggs from behind the bar.
because you have to have eggs for breakfast.
Mhm.
If they're pickled, doesn't matter. But like he doesn't spend all day there just drinking because like he would find that boring.
Okay. Just describe the owner slash bartender to me.
I gotta say it's like woman, and just obviously very clearly the kind that just doesn't take any shit. Um,
Okay.
Understands almost everything that's happening in the bar, but she doesn't talk about it at all.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Like if you wanted someplace to plot a heist or something, back corner here might not be horrible, inappropriate.
Okay. Okay. Criminality. Okay. Does this lady have a name? Because I'm gonna name her Marge if she doesn't.
Yep. No, I
Okay.
just said Big Marge. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah. So you wander in. You stumble. What time? What time does Rucksack stumble out of his own bag of holding and the into beers for his morning?
Nailed it like at 11:30.
All right.
Just before that lunch rush.
Yes, you stumble in, and there's like three other patrons here. Two of them look like they might have been here like overnight. And then there's like one dude in a business suit that's clearly just like crying into a beer at the bar. And then Marge is sort of standing behind the bar, just polishing glasses. And she nods, gives you one of these, and she just takes the glass that she was wiping out and she turns it over, pulls down the lever, and fills you up because she knows what you're coming here for, and she slides that across the bar to you before you even sit down. And sort of without even looking, reaches behind her and just grabs the jar of eggs, pulls it forward, sets it on the bar, opens it up, and like reaches down in the pickle, hands you, and just like drops two of them on the bar in front of you, and then screws the cap back on the jar, puts it back down, and goes back to polishing glasses.
Hey, Marge, thanks. How you doing?
It's one of those things. It's just crazy others.
And then toasts, lifts the glass up to her, and then drinks it down. What's with the guy in the monkey suit?
I was at a lost job, something.
Oh, shit. All right. Rock's gonna go over and make himself friendly with the guy in the business suit,
Okay.
and his intent is, well, fuck, he just had a horrible day, lost his job. He's gonna go out and we're gonna have fun.
Okay. You sidle over to this dude. He's only like two stools over. You barely have to move your eggs to get this guy. And he's there, and he's kind of straight up middle aged, like not older middle aged, not younger middle aged, like in the middle. But he's losing most of his hair. Looks like his sad sack. His suit doesn't quite fit right. Like it's an old suit. And it's he barely notices you sort of moving towards him, and then like as you're pulling up the bar stool next to him, he sort of jerks in your direction and then shrugs his shoulders and kind of goes back down to crying in his beer.
Man, what happened?
After this, my wife left me after I lost my job. I got escorted out by security. My pension. I don't even, what is going on? And then he goes back to drinking. Yeah, they say something about espionage. I don't even know, man. I just came to work one day and I laid down in my cubicle for a nap, and when I woke up, I was being escorted off the premises. And he like starts drinking some more of his salty beer.
Your best, you're trying to make sure you're on top of your game there by taking a quick power nap, and then they punish you for it?
I, it doesn't seem right, does it? Just, man, corporate. I just can't do this anymore. I think I'm gonna go like do the Jack Kerouac thing or something, man. I got nothing left.
Go on a ride? Yeah.
And he drinks the rest of his beer and slams it on the table, like, "Thank you, Marge," he says, like, mostly drunkenly.
Yeah.
And like wobbles off his bar stool, and then starts stumbling out. And Marge's like, "Hey, you paid monies. I got what's this?" And the guy's like, "Yeah, I got you, Marge. It's my last 5 in the world." Throws down the bar, walks out, and
all right.
then just like the door jingles, the bell on the door jingles behind him, and suddenly you are left with the 2 people who are definitely not dead in the booth, back in the side. Yeah.
Well, no, I think Ruck's gonna try and get himself involved with this guy here, because like he's clearly done wrong, and or maybe we just go and fucking drive around the city and do weird shit. But either way is gonna be fun.
Okay.
But he pats his pockets like very theatrically at Marge, like, just put it on my tab. And like the eggs just disappear, and he drains the beer and he goes after the guy.
Nice. Okay, so by the time you make it to the door, this guy's already sort of gotten out and across the street. Now, this is not a great area of Silver City. Like, so most of Silver City is like shiny and clean and like borderline sterile, except for where there's like parks and things. But this area is like a little grimier. There's bars on some of the windows. He sort of walks across the road to an area where there's this sort of like it adjoins on an office, a big shiny office building.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a food cart out front, like those hot dog carts, right, with the big umbrella and there's a dude behind the hot dog cart, and your new friend, who I don't believe I gave a name for,
nope,
is currently like arguing drunkenly with this person behind the cart about how he should get a free hot dog.
All right.
I just lost my job, and just one hot dog, man. I will pay you back for it next week. I'll be back on my feet. I definitely won't have left town and traveled across the country as a beat poet. I'm going to be here, paying you for this hot dog. And the guy on the other side is like, I can't, there's no credit for hot dogs. No. We take Bitcoin, but not credit. So that is going down. There are sort of the ever-present, like, so in Silver City, it's like corporate and clean cut, and there is a building full of office drones. It's about lunchtime, sort of getting there. So there are like people around, all sort of dressed nicely as though they are working a job. There's also like those dudes you see in Silver City that are in the suits with the crew cuts and the earpieces that sort of blend in but don't really, and that you recognize as like the corporate security team, the Silver City security.
And I'm definitely picturing like the bar is down a back alley between like a big corporate building and like a parking garage, right?
Yes.
It's one of those alleys that's too small that you don't really want to drive down.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Well, yeah, it's like built on the outlet to the parking garage, right? Like it's like right there.
Oh shit, yeah, and it's gonna be like underneath the first layer, so you can continually hear cars go overhead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, Ruck comes up, pulls out a wallet, just like from nowhere, and like rifles through it looking for some money, and like hands the guy a bill of some denomination. He doesn't really pay attention to it. It's like, yeah, here, a couple dogs on me. Come on, man, let's You deserve a day out. Let's go catch a ball game. Yeah, the Silver City's got a ball team, right?
Yes. What is the mascot of the Silver City Vault?
I'm gonna say the Silver City Satellites.
The Silver City Satellites.
Like a little picture.
That tracks.
Yeah.
And these is this a baseball team?
Because they're playing in the middle of the day here. Other sports don't happen during the middle of the day.
Okay. So yeah, you and you can see that like most of the nice people are moving away, and then like 3 dudes in suits are sort of closing in. But as you sort of pay for the hot dogs and like hurriedly walk him away, they seem to relax a little bit. Like one of them touches your earpiece and mumbles something. Yeah. So we'll cut that there. There's Rucksack paying for hot dogs, drinking before noon, and who's next? Who wants to start their little day in the life vignette first?
Well, Silver is the old one, right?
Silver is the oldest. Silver is the first. Yes.
Is it Bronze next?
Bronze is next.
All right, let's go with Firefly.
All right, Firefly. You were at college, right?
Yeah, and probably like overly excited to be at college again.
I bet it is. It's very exciting. What's your major, Firefly, or Serenity, I guess?
Either way, right? I answered it both. Probably something like so the Bronze Age of comics takes place in like the 70s, right?
Yeah, like that's the it stretches for a while, but yeah, like if you're looking for like an aesthetic, it's the 70s.
Yeah. So like
it's that like washed out like browns and grays and greens 70s bell bottom ish sort of era. Yeah.
Like I think like sociology.
Okay.
Or education, like something like where
something do-goodery.
Yeah.
Like
where
it's like lean it all the way in.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna do it right this time.
Okay. All right.
And that is a subject I have like negative experience with, so you'll have to bear with me.
Great. Sociology education major. Okay, what is the name of the college here in Bronze Ridges?
Oh man,
is it a full college? Is it a community college? Is it actually like an old like basically Ivy League university that like this like rest of the town sort of grew up around? What's the?
So it's gonna be like something that I'm gonna be able to ditch, right?
Okay, so you want it to be like fairly low grade,
right?
You
like
don't want it to be, okay,
prestigious enough to get a degree from, but like, yeah, like one step up from like community. I don't mean community college. I mean like TV show community.
Okay, so it's like but it is like an actual college.
Yeah, but like I'm taking like the minimum number of credits in order to be a full-time student, sort of thing.
Okay. What's the name? Give me a name here. You're in Bronze Bridges. You're in Art City. State indeterminate and will remain so.
Right.
What's the name of this place? Is it just like Bronze Bridges College? Is it going to be the BBC? Is it? Is it named after someone? Is it like Kent University? Can we go like all the way out that way?
We could absolutely do Kent University.
Okay.
There's like yeah. I'm perusing the Bronze Age of Comics origin, like key origins, right? Like I'm trying to figure out like
okay.
Like Green Arrow showed up for the first time in the 70s, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Green Arrow. Basically, all the Kung Fu Marvel people showed up. if they are like Luke Cage first showed up in
Right.
the 70s. Um, I want to say I think Hal Rayner was Hal was still the Green Lantern through the 70s because he went on the road trip with Green Arrow. Um,
Right.
yeah, I mean that's sort of the era you're looking at.
Right.
So if you wanted to make a reference,
Kent's a
right?
Silver Age comic, right? But Queen could be like Queensboro University or something, or
Okay, yeah,
Queensbridge. Let's do Queensbridge.
Queensbridge, because that's what this place used to be called, right?
Right.
Queensbridge University.
And it's
Definitely a
the
real
old
college.
like one that's been there for a really, really long time before it became Bronzebridge or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is like way back. Then this part of the city. Yeah, so this has been around since like before. In fact, like so like in Philadelphia, which is like my main reference for what a city looks like, right?
Mhm.
There's like there's a bunch of universities in Philadelphia, but there's like the place that the professors live, and there's the place the professors live, like the American professors live. There's the place that like the professors that moved here from somewhere else live. And to me, maybe Bronzebridge's like Queensbridge University was the place that all these people came in to teach for, and they sort of started living here, and then their families came in and all this stuff, and that's kind of how you got this sort of multi-ethnic area in what would normally be an established region with
Right.
Queensbridge.
Yeah, makes sense.
Okay. Queensbridge. I'm going to go ahead and add that to the title of this area. Okay. Queensbridge University. Tagline: We're definitely a real college.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Come graduate from us again, please.
We have degrees. So you are a freshman at Queensbridge University. How long has school been? Well, okay. So if Rucksack is catching a baseball game, right?
Do they play baseball? Spring sport, right?
Well, yeah, that means it's either fairly early in the first semester or like really, really late in the second semester. Right?
Right.
So which is it? What time of year is it?
Let's go late in the second semester because that way there's a bigger risk, right? If things start becoming interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you've already dumped all this time in, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So yeah, you are headed to well, let's say your class lets out. For you now, it's a little bit later. It's like just a little bit after lunch. You've gotten your lunch, and you take it to the library, right? At Queensbridge University.
Mhm.
And I guess you're studying. Do you study with? Do you take lunch and study with people over lunch, or are you by yourself? How social are you at this university?
Like overly social,
Okay.
right? Like, because in order to like make those amends things, right? So
Mm-hmm.
Serenity, whose parents apparently were hippies, either the first time around or the second time around, is totally like into that whole like there's a study group and like is encouraging people, like tries to tutor people even though she's not very good at it, and wants to get involved in like campus movements and stuff like that.
Okay. Okay. Are you tutoring somebody right now? Like, is this like a lunch tutoring session?
Sure.
Okay. All right. So you're a second semester freshman.
Right.
What do you have to offer as a tutor? Is
I
this
mean,
like
literally
here,
nothing.
here, no, I got it. So what it is you are a native. I'm assuming, I guess. So I should ask: is Serenity like a native English speaker?
Yes.
She was born here, right? She was born in Bronzebridges in in Argent City, so she speaks English as her first language.
Yeah.
So what she could be doing theoretically is like the thing where students volunteer to sit down and have conversations with people who are trying to learn English or trying to get better at English, right?
Okay.
So maybe you're meeting with somebody from the community here in the library to help them work through their English stuff. Maybe they're taking an English class. Maybe they're just working on it to like try to get their GED.
Okay.
Maybe there's a lot of things if you don't. But it's like you and this like I really don't. My mind automatically jumps to like the adorable little Hispanic lady trope.
Well, let's do like a native Pacific area,
Okay.
like a native like a Japanese person or Korean
Okay.
or something like that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So there's a young gentleman from Korea. He's actually an exchange student at the local high school. So he's like 17, 18 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Who is here doing immersion English, and you are helping him through that. I need a name real quick.
Roy.
Roy. That definitely sounds like a Korean dude's name. Okay. Make a note here real quick.
What's that?
But he would have been called in that time period, though.
Right.
Yeah, no, he definitely would have been. It would have been
Right, because Pak Seung was too much, so it's
Americanized.
just Roy.
Yeah. Okay, let me make a note real quick. Roy, the Korean exchange.
You can just leave Roy in quotation marks.
Yeah. Tutored by Serenity. Okay, so yeah, you and Roy are going through the things that Roy really likes comic books. Let's say Roy really likes comic books.
Yes.
Let's be circular here. And so like you and Roy are taking turns like reading off the dialogue in this comic book that Roy has brought to you.
Okay.
And it's like 70s as hell. There's some white dude doing kung fu on the inside.
With like a black bandana on their head, right? Or
yep. And
Tired.
he's like beating up. Let's say he's beating up white supremacists. Let's just say that. Right?
Gotcha.
He's beating up.
never goes out of style.
Mm-hmm. And so, so you and Roy are going back and forth and doing this, and you'll read a line, and and just as you're about to wrap up, and because Roy's got to go get back to a class or something, and you have another one, you actually have a class coming up at like 2, so you got to get your lunch eaten and get out. You see out the window of the library, you can see across the way, because there's rivers on either side of bronze bridges. That's how it's got its name, right? It's like it's sort of a little island in the middle of the town.
Gotcha.
And across the river that you can see out the library window, a white van pulls up to the edge of the road, and it's a fairly steep embankment. It's actually, the river has stone walls, containing walls built up on either side, so it's like a 6 or 7 foot drop to the water. You see a van pull up, you see dudes in black get out, open up the door, and toss 3 body-shaped objects into the river. This is like probably 150 yards away from you. Slam the door, get back in the vehicle, and drive away.
Gotcha.
And Roy's packing up his books, getting ready to leave, saying his goodbyes. He really likes practicing saying his goodbyes, so it takes a while. He really likes practicing American colloquialism. So he's
Right.
like, "See you later."
And so Serenity is all like, Roy, and she hands him her the lunch trash, and she said, "Take this one to the curb for me," or whatever, like a punchline from the comic strip,
Okay,
sort of thing, like with the intent of take out the trash sort of thing.
nice. Okay.
All right, and then she turns and she runs until she doesn't dive out and break the window, right? But starts sprinting to jump out the it's impossible for her to describe the call to action. She's going to go either intercept the van and find the bodies in the river.
Okay, so as you you sprint out of the library, I imagine there's some poor librarian that's like working the periodicals table, like putting a bunch of newspapers in an orderly stack, and then you like run past fast enough that they all fly up into the air.
Right, those cards, right? That they used to have in the library. Just Dewey Decimals everywhere.
And like all three librarians at the same time start yelling, Reynolds! Yeah, so you are running for the river, and you got to go. You cover basically it's sort of downhill. I'm imagining this campus.
Well, so
from
this
here
is
to
the
the
70s,
river.
right? So I've got to have roller skates.
Okay, yes,
Right.
You definitely have roller skates, and for this reason and this reason alone, there's a sidewalk headed towards the river. And so you are like dodging people trying to get to class, people hanging out on the quad, and you get down to the river, and you can see in the river there's two bodies sort of bobbing in the water, and then there's a third that's sitting still, but there's ice expanding from it in either direction.
Okay.
Basically as a radius around this body.
Huh.
And it's actually gotten up to the wall, the containing wall on the side where it got dumped, and it's sort of pushing it towards you across the river.
Weird. Okay. Well, I like glance around to make sure that there's nobody who like hopefully I've ducked behind some trees, like the pine trees that are all over the place here. I don't know if there are pine trees actually in Bronze Bridges, but
Sure there
some
are. Yeah.
stand of trees, right? And then pull on the hood, right? The Firefly hood, or maybe it's a helmet. I don't know. I haven't figured out all of the logistics yet.
Okay.
Right? But
right.
and then kick off and fly over the water and try to
Do you take off your roller skates first?
I think the roller skates are part of it.
They're part of the uniform. Okay.
Right. Well, let's if we're gonna go all into the 70s thing, right?
Okay.
Rocket skate sort of thing.
All right. Okay. Yeah. You lift off and you rocket over this over the water, and you can see from the air what you have is three bodies in the water. Right. One of them is sort of being encased in an ever-growing sort of clump ball of ice.
Okay.
That's probably 8 feet wide at this point. The other two are caught in that, but they're sort of just they look like ducks that have been frozen to a pond, sort of.
Ducks.
They're just kind of
okay.
They're just kind of caught in the ice, but they are not moving and not looking around. The third figure, the one that's surrounded by ice, is screaming and kicking and lashing out.
Well, I grabbed the one that's moving first.
Okay. All right. She is very cold, and you're gonna have to work to get her out of this ice.
All right. Well, luckily, I have fire.
Okay.
So I will literally just blast the surface of the water, because I study education and not physics.
Nice. Okay. So this sounds like a roll of some sort to make sure nothing goes bad.
I will. This sounds like I'm smashing, doesn't it? Or am I protecting? Because I hope it's smashing.
Well, it's up to you. That can go either way. Does that not get any bigger? Oh, there we go. Okay. So I think what this is I think this is a seize control roll, and I think smash probably makes it. If you're just throwing fire at the problem, that sounds like a smash.
Yeah.
So why don't you make that roll with smash, and we'll see what happens. You're seizing control over the poor person in the water.
Do we have character sheets?
There's no Roll20 character sheet for this game.
Okay.
So your character sheet was let me pull up the drive because
8.
we have. Okay. 8. All right. So seize control on a 7 to 9. Choose one. You seize control over what was contested, so you pull the person out of the water, or you prevent yourself from ending up in disadvantage or in harm's way or you put your opponent at a disadvantage. The third one probably doesn't apply. So either you can pick this person up and not be in a good place, or you can be in an alright place and not pick this person up.
No, let's totally pick this person up and expose myself to trouble.
Okay. So you pull this. So you blast fire down on this thing, and this person is encased in the ice. Like it's much thicker around them.
Okay.
So the ice melts around them, and you're able to grab and pull them up. What doesn't happen is the other two are not protected by the ice. You're pretty sure they were dead before.
Well, I mean,
you're really sure they're dead now. You basically just like flash boiled two people.
right.
They probably weren't really people at the end there, but now they're definitely not.
But that is incredibly par for the course for Firefly.
Nice. So you drag this person up, and she feels cold.
Right.
So cold. And while you're in the air, like, you can feel ice forming on you. You fly, right? That's what you're doing right now.
Yeah, I fly at high speeds. Okay.
Is it fire-based? Like, are you constantly, like, emitting flame to fly?
Like, imagine the Rocketeer updated for the 70s.
Okay. Yeah, so you are steaming. Like, literally, there's ice forming on the outside of you and her all the time, but the intense heat is like, vaporizing most of it as you go.
Okay. Well, this is real bad, so I want to get towards someplace where, if any sort of, like, mechanical failure occurs, I want to occur over someplace relatively soft and not wet.
Okay. You're the student here. You know this area. You're the student that can fly. Where are you landing?
The quad.
What is nearby?
Right.
What?
The quad, of course, right?
Oh, you're landing the quad?
Sure.
All right, like the green space in the quad?
Yeah.
I like it. So you are hurtling to Earth.
I've got 2 points in college. I can afford to burn one of them when I burn the quad down.
Yes. All right, yeah. So why don't you give me your Defy Danger roll to see how that landing goes.
I have no idea how Defy Danger works.
Defy Danger works almost exactly like it does in Dungeon World. On a 10+, I've got in Roll20, there are the documents, the basic moves are there. So if you pull it up, all right, on a 10+, you do what you set out to do, and the threat doesn't come to bear, and you endure it. Or 7 and 9, you can do it, but you're going to get a hard choice or worse outcome.
The IC will tell you which stats roll. Okay, well, so I'm probably not panicked per se, but like I want to get there as soon as I fucking can. So because I can control fire a little bit without my technological gubbins, but if there is a problem, I don't really want to be flying and having a systems failure.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna hastily, I guess, less cautious than urgent.
Okay, so landing with this whole thing going on without like smashing into statuary or your fellow students or whatever is probably going to be a maneuver, I think, roll.
That's fair.
So give me maneuver.
10.
Nice. All right, so describe to me how you land with this freezing person in the quad.
So like so I'm flying at breakneck speeds with a cloud of vapor. Because I look like some sort of like meteorite. That's what before it hits the ground, it's a meteorite, right? So because you've got the vapor trail and the heat, and the fire like blazing out of my rocket skates now apparently, and I fly towards the quad and I do like a barrel roll sort of thing and like do a turn and like a flare up sort of thing. So I kill it on my speed and then drop the person on the ground, and then I cut out the rocket states and land on my feet. To kind of like flourish it. But there's like flames on like some of the bushes nearby, right? And like it's not there's got to be some sort of collateral damage.
Okay. Yeah, so yeah, you sort of swing over, and you've only been gone like you just rocket skated through this quad, or like roller skated through this quad,
right?
Like 45 seconds ago.
Yeah, but I've got a helmet on now, so totally.
No, I'm not
right.
saying you're gonna get recognized. I'm gonna say it's still like super packed. There's still a bunch of people out moving around. It's a fairly nice day in the springtime, pushing summer. So there's people like on picnic blankets in the quad, all this stuff. There's like everybody scatters. There's like gas and like screaming people, and you drop this freezing person on the ground. Kill your momentum. Drop this freezing person on the ground. Sort of sputteringly land yourself in the middle of all this. People are like running. Most of them are running away from you. Some of them are like exiting buildings to come into the quad and watch what's happening. And as you land, already there's a frost forming on the ground where you laid this person, and they are sort of sitting there in agony, clutching their head. And we'll leave it there. Revenant.
Yes.
What does your day look like as a dead person?
I mean, it's probably during the day. It's probably fairly normal. I imagine Reddit's probably more of a nocturnal actor, like Batman kind of style. But so during the day, it probably has some minimum wage job where they don't really ask questions. Like picking up, working on a trash truck or something where that he gets around quite a bit. But it's not. It's one of those jobs that people just ignore you.
Yeah, you blend into the scenery. They expect you to be there, but don't pay any attention to you. Yeah.
But he also gives him a way to. I want to be able to move around the city a lot, so he has eyes around the city. Basically, he reconnoiters during the day, whatever routes he's on.
Okay.
Or something like a taxi driver, or something like that, where he gets around a lot during the day.
Okay. And then at night, you're out patrolling superhero style. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. And we also sort of already talked about you like drawing yourself mystic doorways on things, right?
Yeah. So
is that a project you've already started? Is that like an idea you just had?
I think it's still early stages.
Okay.
So there's not many. I don't know what we would draw them with. They could be something like graffiti style.
Well, I mean, this is the Silver Age. Like, it could just be like, yeah, do you have a spray can that you have blessed with death magic that you like?
Yeah, it's probably also like what's that glow in the dark style paint too? Like the ultraviolet paint, so it only shows up when it's being activated or when you use special lights to view it.
Okay, yeah. So like that's funny because your powers make things fluoresce. I like it.
Yeah.
You have black light powers. Okay, so great. So let's sort of leave your daily routine, I guess, and we'll go to like patrolling at night, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so here's the question though. So is it different times of day in the different areas of the city as is convenient to me? I think it is.
It's always night in the Iron.
I think
Iron Heights.
Because there's no like daytime shots of Bloodhaven, right? It's always nighttime. Yeah. So you are you're patrolling. In the way that you do, like, do you just like Jason stalk around the city looking for bad things happening? Do you do the Daredevil thing where you like sit on top of something and look down? What's your process here?
I think he sort of flows around town from shadow to shadow.
Okay.
It's not a stationary kind of stalking.
Okay.
Someone's enjoying some chips or something.
Oh, shoot. I thought I muted myself.
Double up mute there.
Okay, so all right, so you are out sort of stalking from shadow to shadow, sort of shadow porting your way through Steelport.
Mm-hmm.
And like most nights, there's stuff going on. In this case, there seems to be some sort of like mugging happening. We're gonna start with like the most comic book thing. There's a dark alley. There's two dudes with knives, and there's a female individual, a woman, being accosted by them. Now, before you can zip into frame, things go bad. Lady gets stabbed. Two guys run off with her purse. What do you do?
So I don't know how much you want to make this a hard choice between saving her or stopping them, but I imagine
I want to see what you do. I want to see where your head's at as the dead person brought back from the dead to do dead things. What do you do right now?
So the main drive for Revenant would be to assist the lady who got stabbed, save her life before her possessions.
Okay, that sounds totally reasonable. Yeah, so you shadow port over to her. She is a sort of darker skin, kinky hair, dressed like she probably works in one of the factories around. It's not clear why she would be out this late at night, although, I mean, factories have weird shifts. And she is bleeding from a couple of different wounds, sort of in her midsection. You could probably staunch it up. Or do something magic-y. I don't know. What is your... she's, like, on the ground, not screaming, but, like, yelling in pain and sort of thrashing around and trying to see to herself. She doesn't even notice you sort of approach. She's got other problems.
Okay, I think... Yeah, so I think I will have an ability called Death Slumber.
Okay.
That is sort of a regenerative state to put someone into.
Okay.
So it'll basically takes them out, knocks them out, but gives them, I don't know, however magic bullshit this is, but
okay.
It heals wounds effectively.
Okay, yeah, so you like Jedi healing trance them and they Okay. Okay, that sounds cool. So do you do that? You do that to her?
Yeah, they totally lose their vital stats too. Yeah, so if someone were to, no, not quite. If I left her there, possibly, but I could probably also pull her. Oh, I can't pull her identification. The guys took it.
Yep.
So yeah, sorry. What were you saying now? I was reading chat.
That's okay. Yeah. So you put her in a state that is not death, but appears to the outside to be death.
Yeah, basically, it's like the slowing down of your heartbeat to once a minute kind of thing.
Yeah, so you can kind of keep her from bleeding out, essentially.
Yeah.
Right? Before help arrives. Now, two things we should think about. One, is help going to arrive? And two, what are they going to find when they get there that lets them know that this is not a corpse?
Okay, I think I want to use my...
Sorry, just one more third thing
Sure.
that we should probably consider is this a thing the Revenant thinks about or has a plan for?
So I think, first of all, step one, no. Help generally is not going to arrive in a random alleyway for some factory worker.
Okay.
If you have more money, then sure, help arrives a lot faster, or if you have connections to some of the crime syndicates in the area or something, perhaps. But for her, probably not. But yeah, so I think I want to have... I would like to establish a bond right now where the Revenant knows someone that he dumps these charity cases on, whether it's like a pastor at a local synagogue or a church, or maybe a retired doctor or something like that. Something, whatever sounds most interesting for you. I don't care what the flavor is, but
yeah, I mean, all that sounds good because basically you need a night nurse or a doctor. What's it from the Batman stuff? Yeah, you just want someone to put that at.
I think this is his one connection with humanity that he keeps.
I really like the idea, and this is kind of cliche, but it feels like a fun cliche in this specific instance. I really like the idea that this is like a religious hospice that you take them to,
Yeah.
like specifically like some sort of Abrahamic religion. I'm thinking specifically Catholic, just because like Daredevil, and that's where my head goes in Steelport. Like, so if you take them to like this clinic that is run by nuns, right? But you are clearly not. You're something wrong. You are
Yeah.
something wrong. I like that conflict. I like that sort of push. I also like the idea that like one of the nuns taught you middle school or something. Would be amazing.
I'm trying to think of. It's not. There's a religion. It's not Jehovah's Witness. It's not one of the big, Catholic Christian, and I can't remember the name of it. It's bugging me. Damn it. Shit.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to Google religions now to see if I can find something. This is going great.
All right. All right.
I'll get back to it if I remember it, but there's one that I like. But yeah, it's not quite. Doesn't really
Okay.
matter right now.
All right, cool. Yeah, so let's sort of fade to black on that. If this is a thing we want to establish, let's wait until we have the information to establish it. So we'll come back to it in a minute.
Yeah.
So you get ready to. So you put this. What does it look like when you put this person into a trance? Like, is she like laying on the ground and she looks up and she sees you, and like, do you look like a zombie? Do you look like a weird death priest? What do you look like when you're superhero-y?
So in guys, I have the tattered cloak that hides most of my facial features except for the glowing green eyes.
Okay.
But I imagine whenever I use this power on someone, they have some sort of vision. So I imagine for like the physics of it, I walk up to him and I do you close the eyes for the if someone recently died, so you do the eye close thing and put them under the trance. But I imagine they probably have some sort of vision of a lost loved one, perhaps.
Okay.
Coming to help them in their time of in this time.
Okay. We can always cover this later. Is that lost loved one actually like there? Are you like pulling a soul from the underworld to shepherd this person? Or are you like causing a hallucination? Or do you know?
I don't know.
Okay.
I was going to say I don't know why it happens this way, but it just does.
Okay. Once you put her in and she like, when you walk up to her, she sees you and like she's holding in her stuff inside. She's like, "Oh my, seriously?" And then you like put her to sleep because she's a tough steel worker, but like she got stabbed and then a zombie showed up. Like, really? Like, that's a thing? Like,
Yeah.
So she got so she goes into this trance. How do you transport her? Do you like put her in your cloak? What's the method here?
Geez, I didn't think about that. So I imagine No, I can manipulate gravity. I basically float her in sort of this, like vampire lying in his coffin, kind of going like through the streets.
So you are like bouncing from shadow to shadow, and she's floating. Yeah.
Probably above maybe it could be like above the rooftop too, so you're not gonna.
Yeah, so there's just like a random, seemingly dead person floating in state over Steelport, and this happens not irregularly, apparently.
Yeah.
Great. Okay, so that's all cool. I like all that. Let's establish one thing real quick. So as you're sort of floating her through town, it only takes you a couple. It probably doesn't even take you a minute, honestly, if you're using magic to get all this set up and get her, and then you start moving her through town. And from roughly the direction the Well, as you hear 2 gunshots, like partway through the process with this person to get her set up and moving, and stable. You hear blam, and then a couple seconds later, blam, and sounds like a pretty big gun was discharged deliberately. And on your way to the clinic, you passed the 2 bodies of the bodies of the 2 muggers, one on either side of an alley with a bullet hole like dead center in either one. And then we'll cut to black, and we'll figure out where you're taking it. Okay. I need a bio real quick. I'll be right back, and then we will sort of go back through the rotation and see if we can't start putting threads together. Okay?
Okay.
Sounds good.
Okay. I am back. Ruck.
Yo.
You and we have not named this individually. I am going to name him Sam.
That Chuck,
Right.
Ruck and Chuck.
Oh,
Jeez.
I like that. I like
No,
that. Hold on.
His name is definitely Charles, but he gets called Chuck.
Yes. Okay, so I am adding. Okay, so it was going to be Sad Sack Sam. It is now clearly Hard Luck Chuck, right? Okay, so you and Hard Luck Chuck, who is still pretty inebriated. Did you?
Because we were drinking beers at the ball game.
Yeah, I was gonna say, did you bring booze? Or you're going to a ball game, so there's gonna be booze there. Well, beer.
And like among the stuff that he has put elsewhere, I am going to assume there's a large amount of alcohol of various descriptions. So while he'll just suddenly have like a flask full of whiskey or something.
Okay. I like that. So the Silver City Satellites are playing the I don't know. Because it's Silver Age, right? So it's got to be like the Cosmo City Cosmonauts. Like it's got to be something really, really dumb. And it is a beautiful day for a baseball game. And Chuck is having a relatively good time. He's not really into baseball, clearly, but he's like, it's sunny, I'm drunk. Things could be worse right now. And so while you're at so Chuck finishes his beer and is like, cheering. He doesn't even know what he's cheering for the wrong at this point. The cosmonauts like get a two base hit, knocking a runner. He's like jumping and cheering, and like the entire crowd turns on him. And he's like, Oh, but I'm gonna go get some more beers. I'll be back. And so he like stumbles through some still irritated Satellites fans and makes his way down to sort of the exit stairs to go under the bleachers to get some drinks. Do you follow him? Do you stay there? What are you doing?
Oh, I think I'll stay there for right now. Just kind of enjoy
Okay.
the game. Start chatting
Yeah.
to the people around me. You know.
It's fun. It's a fun game. Yeah, it's. I mean, the satellites aren't great this year, but they're giving the cosmonauts a run, which is nice. The rivals are like that. And so a couple is Chuck's gone. Like you expect him to gone. The concession stand is sort of like just behind, like just under the bleachers and inside the stadium. And Chuck's gone. You expect him to be gone for a few minutes. Maybe if there's like a line, like 4 or 5 minutes. And Chuck's been gone for like an inning, like a fair amount of time. When suddenly you catch sort of out of the corner of your eye, two dudes in yellow hazmat suits sort of
Okay.
lurking in the doorway that you saw Chuck like take the stairs through, and sort of pointing. One of them's pointing up into the crowd and then down onto the field, and the other one, like, you can see him shake his head and sort of wave the first one back in under the stadium. No one else seems to notice them. Do you do anything?
Weird. Can you describe it as like actual bleachers, like outside bleachers?
Well, I'm
stadium.
trying to decide how is this like a full on Major League Baseball team, or is this like a minor league team? Is this like a
Yeah.
beer league team? Like, what is this? How big are the satellites?
So what's fighting in my head is that, like, I feel like Silver City would have like a real team.
I think they
right?
might.
Is there a
Yeah.
league team? But like it's also a ways back, so I don't know if it would be what we think of as a major league stadium. Maybe.
It probably wouldn't be like full on that size, but it would. You could. I mean, like Fenway Park was around then. Like the old Fenway Park was a pretty big deal. It wasn't huge by modern standards, but it was sizable, right? It didn't have like 3 and 4 decks on it.
Yeah.
But,
All right. This whole team is kind of like this thing, but not like it's not like a ball field type thing, like you see.
Okay.
But anyway, yeah, Rex gonna go and duck out the other side of the section, and come back up around
Okay.
behind the dudes in the hazmat suits.
Okay. All right.
It's-
Yeah. So when you duck back in, there's a decent sized crowd, sort of waiting for drinks. You don't see Chuck anywhere. It's weird. You do see the two dudes in hazmat suits, and between them, they're carrying some sort of like weird device. Like it looks like, in modern terms, it sort of looks like a generator or something like that. But it doesn't look like anything you've ever seen. Like, it's got 2 handles on either side. It's sort of black with like metallic pieces coming off of it, and like some vents on one side and blinking buttons. It looks Silver Age-y, but it's hard to tell what it is from right here. And no one around them is paying any attention to them. Like, literally, none of the people standing in line, like people standing in line to get nachos and beer, or were nachos a thing in the 60s? I don't know. They were hot dogs and beer, are like apparently just like parting for them and then moving back and about it, what you can see. And they are moving the package, the thing they're carrying, sort of towards the stairs that you saw them standing on earlier.
Huh. Okay. this like super weird future tech thingy. Do we ever decide if? I guess it doesn't really freaking matter. I'm trying to remember if the little techno buddy thing we had talked about was visible or not, but I don't think Ruck gives a shit either way.
I mean, yeah, it's not going to be realistically, like, even if it was like shoulder genie or something, like,
yeah,
it's not going to be. Yeah, it's not going to be that.
It looks like. All right, so like, what the heck did I write down for that? There is that because he has a little wristband that either projects a hologram out so you can see it, or is just to convince him he can see things or something, whatever.
Okay.
The Wix. It's the wristband interface for communication with symbiote.
Okay.
So he kind of like looks at it, he's like, hey, what's that?
Okay. You point the symbiote at it, and you say, okay. The symbiote comes back. What does the symbiote sound like in your head? What is
like the bad thing is like they pulled like an idea from Ruck's head how they should talk about, which is like a classic alien buddy dude, like a little upbeat chipper thing.
Oh. Well, that's clearly that's clearly some sort of temporal displacement device. That's very exciting. I didn't know this technology existed on Earth. They're moving now. They've now moved sort of through the gate and into the seating area of the stadium.
That's not that can't be right?
I'm never wrong.
I'm saying it shouldn't be here.
I don't know. I'm not from this planet.
So I picture him. He's been like leaning up against the beer stand. What I was thinking of, but whatever. So he grabs a beer and like just downs it, and then walks over, kind of resentfully, like between the two guys that are carrying that thing.
Yeah.
And his intention is basically just to walk right up to it, grab onto it, and then elsewhere it, and then talk to them.
Okay.
So like just makes it disappear, and it's like, hey guys, what the heck are you doing that for?
Okay.
Where the hell you want to roll involved in that?
Yeah. So if you are, are you like, is your entrance like elsewhereing it? Like you're just like walking?
Yeah, like literally. Because I picture them like side by side carrying it out of there. I just go and like lay hands on top of it and try and make it disappear.
Okay. Well, that sounds like a seize control. Seize control roll. It also like, are you like talking to them to distract them while you do it, or are you just like speed running the thing and then talking?
Well, I'm definitely trying to push them off balance so that like they might actually honestly answer me.
Okay.
I'm still open to the fact that maybe they're supposed to be doing this shit. I mean, it's the Silver City. Maybe it's some kind of weird technological demonstration.
Okay. So you that sounds like a take control or seize control with influence to me. If you're like trying to talk through this while you're doing it.
I mean, this is a serious question. Hey guys, what's up? That's a neat thing. What are you doing with that?
Yeah. So are you okay? I may have misunderstood. Are you trying to get rid of the thing right now?
Because like in my brain, sending it elsewhere is just kind of moving it off the field for the moment. I can easily bring it back.
Yeah. So that definitely sounds like a seize. So give me a with your influence. Roll plus influence, and we'll use control.
Huh. 7's good, right? Yeah.
So yeah. So choose one. You seize control over what was contested. So I imagine that would be elsewhereing the device.
Okay. Yeah. I read the other two. Yeah, we're doing that one.
Okay. So you elsewhere the device, and the two of them sort of turn to you, and you can hear them, and when they talk, you can't hear them talking directly. Like they're not like projecting to make it through the suit and talk to you. Instead, what you can hear is like this like vocoder noise behind their suits, essentially, and you can hear them like it's basically like it's sort of like mumbled Cerberus noises, right? and they're talking to each other, and you see one of them like pull out a disc, like a shiny metal disc with like wires coming off of it, and then you see him spike it at the ground at your feet.
Oh.
And yeah, so you are suddenly, your perspective shifts. You look around, and you are. The stadium's gone. The people in it are gone. The two dudes with hazmat suits are gone. Instead, you are standing on a rock in a copse of trees, and there's a saber-toothed tiger like nose to nose with you. And with that, we'll switch back to Serenity.
That sounds rough over there.
You're muted,
Luckily.
Mike.
Wow, but that sounds rough for Rucksack. Luckily, nothing bad's happening in Serenity.
Yep, everything seems fine over here. So Serenity, this person, the Serenity, you've been on Time Force Alpha Prime for a while now.
For some time.
Yeah, so you've been to the other time periods, right?
Yes.
You've been to bronze, or been to silver, and been to steel, right?
Yeah.
In those time periods, how familiar are you with them as a person?
Sorry, what am I with them?
Would you recognize if someone were, say, dressed as a steel ager with like flannel and hiking boots and like the full-on thing, like the teenage grunge thing from Steel Age,
From 15 years in my future?
Yeah, would you recognize it? Would Serenity recognize it?
I mean, like, I'd recognize it insofar as it was the countercultural dressings of, the youth in the future, right?
Okay.
So, like,
Yeah.
not specifically, just that, that's who she
Okay.
wants to be, so.
Okay. Yeah, so this person laying on the ground, still kind of face down and like planted on the ground, but is sort of stirring and pushing back, has long, dark hair, sort of wavy, has a red flannel shirt. Looks like they're wearing a bunch of layers. Has really torn up jeans. Looks like an old pair of boots. And they are sort of pushing themselves up from the ground, and where their hands are touching the ground, there was frost, and now there's sort of this like rime of ice going out. And as they push themselves up, they sort of grunt with exertion, and it turns into sort of of pain, anger. It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell from here.
Right.
There are people gathering sort of on the periphery. So there's like, there were picnics and things going on. Those have since gone. The blankets and food and stuff is still there. Books are scattered. There are people sort of moving back in. You can see like some of your professors off in one side. Like, people are around. You don't know what the situation is. What's your impulse here?
Well, I'd offer you my hand, man, but like, I'm not sure that'd be a groovy thing to do right now. Are you okay?
Where? And as you get a look at this person is, the face is fairly feminine. There's no facial hair. They have like blue veins coming out all over their face, which looks to be unnaturally pallid. And they seem to be in a lot of pain, just like the stance and how they're holding themselves, and you can feel the air around them just getting colder. Like, what happened? Where am I?
So I'm gonna try to, like, the phrase "wreathe them in fire" sounds eminently painful, but like provide a, project some fire around them to keep them like less than, so they don't freeze to death.
Okay.
While we're talking.
Okay. All right. And you can controlling fire is like one of your powers, right? We already talked about that.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. Like, it's not as easy as just shooting fires, but like keeping it controlled is okay.
Yeah, yeah. So you can do that. I mean, you're just gonna take like some effort. You're sort of occupied doing this while you do it. So you're sweating while you're doing it.
Sure. And like, I don't know if this is helpful to you. I say, like, are you cold? Like, is this how did you? How can I help you? You seem to be in pain.
It's so hot. So hot.
So you're hot. Okay, so I'll turn off the fire.
Like taking off the layers of flannel.
Yeah.
And
no, keep your duds, dude.
The impression that you get, like so you drop the fire?
Yeah.
All right. So the impression that you get, even after you drop the fire, they're still like dragging this off. And there's like 4 or 5 layers of this stuff. You're a sociology major, right?
Yeah, ish. Something beneficial to the world.
Yeah. So I don't know if you've had a class on this. You picked it up from like Contact or whatever. This kid, and by now you can tell it's very young looking person, like 16, maybe 17 years old, they look like they're wearing everything they own on their back. It looks like this kid might be a runaway that was taken off the street by the people in the van. It looks like maybe this person was actually homeless before this. Their clothes are sort of in not great shape. They have a bunch of them that they're wearing all of. And as he sort of tears off and it just frantically trying to get all these clothes off, if you don't stop him, and it is he will take all of the clothes off, all of the shirts off specifically. And well, do you stop him at any point?
I mean, you got to be free, man.
That's really cool of you, actually. And you can see that like his entire body looks like this. Like it's hard to tell what he looked like before, but now he looks like sort of really pallid, really pale, sort of sickly so, with like blue veins, and all the veins seem to be emanating from a point like right here on the shoulder muscle. So it's sort of like spider webbing out, where there's a big dot of blue right there.
Right. Hey, I'm not like a doctor or anything. You need some sort of medical care, though. No doctors, no cops, no, I can't. And then he's like, leans down, thank you, whatever, thanks, I gotta go. And he leans down and grabs his stuff and like makes 2 bolts to the. He runs. Well, I pop a wall of fire in front of him.
He stops, and then you can see. Do you have any like special heat senses?
No, I can manipulate heat as a borderline ability, but I don't think I have heat sense.
But you can't like you don't have like infrared vision that you like the vibration wavelengths of the.
No. I can. I'm Carrie, not Carrie. Yeah, Carrie.
Okay. Yeah. So he runs forward, and you drop this wall of fire in front of him, and then like, and that's the thing that you've done, right? That's you've used a wall of fire before.
Yes.
And you know sort of how it stands up, how it should be there. It gutters a little bit as he sort of runs towards it and then is forced to stop. And then you see him turn around and look at you, and he gets this like really feral look in his eye. And a sheet of ice covers his body, and he turns and runs through your wall of fire.
Okay.
Are you attempting to actually stop him with the wall of fire, or were you just trying to get him?
I mean, most people don't run through the fire, right? So I would just expect them to not run through it.
Okay. He is making a break for it. He's actually running towards the library.
I'll just sort of cruise after him at like not like a threatening pace, right? But like, I mean, I've got rocket skates, right? And I just love the idea of just sort of like,
just like slowly, like,
yeah, just like
back and forth.
Yeah, I can also fly. Can we just talk?
I don't. There's nothing. There's nothing to talk about. I gotta get out of here. This is not good. Not a good scene. I gotta go.
Okay, well, I can also fly. Can we talk? Because like, if you need to get out of here, I can like go take you for a lift or something.
And he looks at himself and looks at you. And like, all right, can you get me away from people? We gotta go away from people.
Sure. And I'll like grab him under his armpits and like shoot off into the air.
Okay. Where are you going?
There's like there's gotta be like a landmark, like one of those giant like not like an Eiffel Tower, but like Seattle's got the Space Needle, like St. Louis has got the Arches. I don't know if Pittsburgh has something like that, but like, you know, some sort of like monument to man's hubris that we can go chill out on, like a giant donut.
Is there a giant statue of the thus far unnamed queen somewhere? Queensbridge, remember?
Yeah, well, I was thinking Queen's like as a person's last name is a riff off Ollie Queen, but there could be like a queen too.
I mean, yeah. So there's like the Queen's Tower. Okay.
Right, but it's like, yeah, like London style Queen's Tower.
Oh Jesus. Yeah, that works for me.
Yeah, and we go.
Do you take him up it? Do you put him on the top?
Yeah, we camp out on the roof because it's a easy place for me to get to, and it's a hard place for other people to get to. So perfect.
Okay, yeah. So you take him all the way up to the top. You land. I'm not gonna make you roll for it. You land fairly easily. The whole flight over, like his ice is fighting with your body.
Right.
But you're probably like the one person in town that can actually like handle this dude. So, that seems fine. You drop him on the tower. Do you put him on the roof, or is there like a balcony?
Well, I'm thinking like an English style, like where those sawtooth crenellation sort of things.
Okay.
Like on the top of it, right?
Okay. Yeah. So you put him up there. And as soon as you put him down, like around him, there's always this sort of like the pig pen from the Peanuts, right?
Yeah.
But it's like water vapor that's sublimating around him, or the opposite, whatever.
Wow.
Like
Okay. So like that's cool and all, buddy. But can you turn it off?
I don't know how. I don't know when this happened.
Okay. Do you remember getting dumped into the lake?
No, I don't.
All right. Do you know
where are we?
Queensbridge. I mean Bronzebridge, but I like to still think of it as Queensbridge.
Wow. Okay. That's no good. I gotta get, and he pulls out of his pocket. He pulls this, like, you would probably recognize it as used to have been a flip phone before he fell in a river and then froze everything and then got a little bit set on fire.
Okay.
Right? Now it's like this cracked, busted up piece of plastic. It's like, oh, God damn, I just got a new... And as he sort of calms down and stops panicking quite so much, the nimbus of frozen air particles around him sort of starts to recede.
Yeah. Yeah, the bad vibes make this thing worse, man.
Man, they're all bad vibes right now. I'm Dennis, by the way. Thank you, I think.
Sure. No problem. Happy to help. It's what I do here. I help people.
And we will leave that budding friendship there for now. Adam, have you been successful in your research?
No, I'll just go with whatever sounds like fun to you.
All right. We'll say that it's like a. We'll say that it is a hospice run by nuns. With the, we'll put a pin in it, and we can retcon this later if it does occur to you. That's
Okay.
Yeah. So you take this person down to what's a good name for this?
Our Lady of
Sister-
Perpetual Torment.
Our Lady of Perpetual Torment's a little dark even for Steelport. Our Lady of
Battle?
Glorious martyrdom.
Inglorious Martyrdom.
Our Lady of Inconsistent Mercies. Catholic Hospice. Yeah, so you are used to dropping, wounded, unfortunates at this place, this Our Lady of Inconsistent Mercies. And it's basically just like the back end of a Catholic church that's also sort of a homeless shelter / emergency clinic for the poor. Public services barely exist in the Steel Age, so they're doing the best they can.
Yeah.
To help folks, and this is where they are. Do you announce yourself? Do you just like ghost in, float the body into a bed, and ghost back out? Do they know that you do this?
No, I think I definitely have my Commissioner Gordon there.
Okay.
So I have someone that I interact with that maybe I haven't gone like to the the extent of confession, but I have a connection to them.
Okay.
And,
Yeah. Okay. Would you like to pick a name for this, or should I pick a name?
I imagine it's like some like Sister Augustine or something.
Okay, I like
Very,
that.
yeah.
I like Sister Augustine. Okay, so you float this body. Do you announce your presence? Are you announced by the floating steel worker? Is there a bell you ring when you come in so people aren't alarmed? Like, what's...
I don't think I care.
Okay.
And it's probably a regular enough occurrence to at least the people that work there.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, so you float this in, and there's a younger nun who, like, just started working here. And
Okay.
just got assigned to Our Lady of Inconsistent Mercies. And you float this body floats in, and this nun, like screams. Doesn't quite faint, but definitely, like, screams and runs deeper into this clinic area. And Sister Augustine sort of, like, very abruptly comes out from behind, I don't know, is it beads? I don't even know what it would look like in this situation. Like, it's like a beaded curtain, just like, poof, out. And she's... And then sort of walks over and does her best to, like, guide this body somehow onto a cot. Sister Mary Catherine, please come here. and she like motions like the scared nun back like you would a pet that has been startled. Right?
Yeah.
Like, we must see this person. This person is in need of help. Our benefactor has been here. And she sort of looks into the shadows. Do you blend in with the shadows, or you're just like creepily standing there?
No, I think out of respect for her, I don't lurk inside of the convent. What is this? Church, chapel, missionary, whatever you want to call it.
Okay. Yeah. So so you're gone. The rest of the scene for them is sort of doing the things that they think they should do without them having much effect, because medically there's not much they can do for this person while they're in the weird stasis effect, right?
Yeah, it's more just like keeping them safe while they sleep. If someone is in a coma, you do treat them the same way. You make sure they're
yeah, so before, like, part of their treatment though, because you do freak out even Sister Augustine, right? There is holy water involved and a rosary, and like they're trying to protect the soul of the person. You're using dark magics to heal.
Sure. No, sure. Yeah.
Okay, so we'll cut there. I think I have a way. I think your two visionettes, so I think Serenity and the Revenant, who we don't have a real name for, or are you just Deathbomb? Is that your full name?
He has a fake name that he gives people. He can't use his real name anymore. Okay. It's sort of been lost. It's on a tombstone somewhere, probably.
Probably, yeah.
Who's Tombstone? We just call you Tombstone.
Oh.
Professional wrestling career next.
That's Undertaker.
I know.
There is a comic book villain, Tombstone.
Oh, okay.
His real name is Lonnie Lincoln. Lonnie Lincoln Tombstone. His superpower is that his head is really hard.
You should totally be Mark Calloway.
It's super hard. Mark Calloway. How did you get the reference? Yeah. So
the Undertaker.
He probably like uses like some sort of short nickname like Mick or something like that, just to.
Okay. Mick the Revenant.
Mick the Revenant. Yep. It probably changes too, just because random. That's what he's using right now, though.
Like you have part of your death powers is you have the ability to assume the identity of the recently dead, right? So
wow.
You live on the credit cards of the people who are just now being buried. So your name changes weekly.
Yeah. Identity theft, the superhero.
I mean, it's like in the first Blade movie, right? Like, what do you think this is? Like we're saving people. Okay, so let's go back to Ruck and his saber-tooth situation.
Okay, so nice kitty. Let's see.
You don't have very far to back away from this cat before you fall off the rock, and it's not super high, but it's like 8 feet up. So there's a good chance you land in a bad position and get pounced by a cat. So
you got a Scooby snack in your rucksack?
Yeah. So like, I think he starts like basically producing various food items. Like, like some pickled eggs show up. Like, no, some hot dogs. I know.
Only unprocessed raw meats.
I was saving that as a trophy, but he produces like an alien, like some kind of like alien quadruped like trophy, and it's like, here, this is like a blitter snatch. Do you like blitter snatches?
Do you just like hold it out to the giant cat?
Yep.
The cat like sort of leans forward. moves back and it opened his mouth really wide, like about to get eaten, and then just like wham right down over the litter snatch, and then sort of sits down on its haunches and looks at you the way cats do. Yeah, it doesn't appear to want to eat you currently. It's more entertained by your existence.
Good kitty. Nice kitty. Why is there a saber-toothed tiger in the middle of the city?
Well, that's a good question. If you look around,
Yeah.
it's not the middle of the city. It's not. There's no city here. You got woods you can see through the trees. You can see there's like some weird topography. It looks very untamed.
What did we decide about the mountain? Was it always there?
The mountain was in fact always there, I think is what we decided.
Mountain around?
The mountain is around. You can see the mountain from here up through the trees.
Time travel. Oh wait, that thingy was a time travel-y thing, wasn't it? It was. So I pull up a very complicated technological device and then I look at it.
So you just elsewhere it back in. Do you put it in front of the cat? Because the cat's just like.
I'm kind of sitting down next to the cat companionably.
Okay. Yeah, the cat's still like munching away, like looking at you, trying to take stock of the situation. Your symbiote chimes in. It's like, this device could theoretically get you back to your own time. It could be dangerous, however. Not for you. You should be fine.
All right, Sam. That's your name now, by the way, Sam. I think you don't know anything about chronal whatevers, right? I am seriously talking to the saber-toothed tiger, like I expect answers.
The tiger sort of tilts his head in the opposite direction, like a dog that was just showing a card trick.
No.
Continues chewing.
Yeah, me neither. All right, so some buttons. This'll work. I'm sure it'll be good.
Awesome. So you're just gonna push some buttons on the displacement device?
Yep. I'm sure it'll work great.
Awesome. Okay. You push some buttons, and you push them, and they start like lighting up in order. Seems very promising.
All right. Yeah.
Right. And a couple seconds later, you hear like a power cell charging, like.
Yeah, that's a good sound. That means something's gonna happen.
Like a clunk of a solenoid hitting inside the machine, and then like everything twirls and folds around you. Give me a defy danger roll. I don't know what you add to this, to be perfectly honest.
Maneuver, I guess.
What?
Maneuver, maybe? It's moving things.
It is moving things. Yeah, give me either maneuver and one way or the other.
The other one was it clocked that for me.
Maneuver or investigate, I think. Investigate, like, being, like, sort of knowing how technology works and doing the thing.
Maneuver just because I am pressing buttons, and it does not imply any kind of mastery.
That's kind of what I was thinking, yes.
Oh,
good. Good. Okay. So, what happens now is space folds around you and unfolds on the other side, and there's, like, crackling lightning. Like, this, we're going full-on Terminator with this, like, entrance effect, right? So, like, crackling lightning, space displacement, you and the Rock and Sam are all transported somewhere. Where you get there, it's dark. It smells not great. Like maybe it's a swamp of some sort. And you hear crunch, 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 and you see the hairs on the back, like the back of the giant neck of the giant cat sitting next to you. Right?
Yeah.
Like the hackles raise, and it turns, and it looks, and then it sort of. What do you do?
Right. So, is the time thingy wanged?
No, I mean it's you can hear there's blinking lights, and there's like a dial indicator that seems to be rising again. Might be powering itself back up. Like it seems to be functional, if not immediately. You can try it again.
Buy myself some time. Right. Then look at the dinosaur. I assume.
Yeah, well, it's dark. It's dark.
Yeah.
So unless you can produce some light, it'll be hard to tell. Your new companion seems to be somewhat freaked out by it, which that is an 800 or 900 pound cat. So there's potentially reason to be concerned.
Okay. Well, I am going to pull out alien ray gun of some description and just kind of like shoot it up in the air to create a flash of light.
Okay. So you shoot this up in the air, and you can see what color does your like energy ball?
I think it's going to be blue.
Blue?
Yep.
All right. So you shoot this blue ball of energy up in the air, and the first thing you notice is that the trees are really tall. Like really tall. Like the trees seem to go on forever. Before you get to the top of the trees, your new friend is fully illuminated, and it starts at the bottom. It's got like these giant three-toed feet, and then it goes up, and it's got these like weird scaly knees, and this like crazy chicken-looking body, and this huge T-Rex head. And this thing is probably like 30 feet tall. Smash cut. Sorry, I'm blanking on names. Serenity and Mick. Each of your communicators goes off. The one you got from the voyeur.
Yes.
Right. We called them the voyeur.
Yes, we did. I will never not use that word to describe him. Communicators go off, and sort of in your head you hear, Time Force Alpha Prime, it is your services are necessary immediately. There's been a breach in time that threatens the fabric of the city.
That's bad.
Well, all right. I suggest like you can get down from here, right?
I'm cool to hang, actually.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna be. I gotta go work for a little bit, so catch you on the flip side.
Later.
And then, like, I'll activate the Time Force Alpha Prime beacon on either the belt or the wrist, or like press the button on the head, and like I imagine I Mega Man out of the situation, like compress into several pixels wide, and then beam up to the observatory, because that sounded creepier than Watchtower.
Okay, yes. So you zoom over the observatory. Mick, are you doing the same thing?
Yeah. Responding.
Okay. All right, so you both arrive at roughly the same time. Like Serenity will blink into existence, and then the Revenant will blink into existence, and it's on the ship, the giant observatory ship that hovers over the city. There's view screens everywhere, as we've decided. There's like view screens with windows in between them, and like it's all about watching things. We're watching a bunch of things. And the the hologram of the voyeur is sort of standing in the middle, facing you. Excellent, you are here. We need to get you to the ball game.
Ball game?
The ball game. So do not worry, all will become clear soon. And the ship like lurches under you and moves very, very fast. And suddenly you're over the top of Silver City, looking down at like the gleaming towers and the office buildings and the little strip of seedy bar territory. And you are over the top of the thing comes like to abruptly to a stop over the top of the baseball stadium, right? Yes, you should deploy now. You will be needed momentarily, he says, sort of creepily, and then like the floor opens up underneath you, and you fall out of the ship.
Oh boy.
But you can both fly-ish, right?
Ish. Yeah.
Okay. All
Right. So they fall less fast.
There you go. So you are like, how fast are you letting yourselves go?
I don't want to be up in the sky very long, so I'll probably let myself go. I'll probably increase gravity to get to the ground faster, and then
Okay. Oh, good. So you're gonna like javelin yourself at the ground. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I do that as well, but in a controlled manner. Like, I intentionally fly downwards now.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So you both like. I imagine the Revenant like hitting and sticking in like the infield of the baseball diamond, which still has a game going on, by the way. And then like the Firefly landing next to it, and like over the loudspeakers, like, well, ladies and gentlemen, we are in for a treat today. For your 7th inning stretch, we have 2 of the heroes of Argent City. Give it up for Firefly and the Revenant. Dun, 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 dun. And the crowd goes wild, right?
I produce some sort of like flourish in the form of fire,
Nice.
like a
Nice.
shaped flower or something.
Oh, I like it.
Your own entrance pyro.
Yeah.
Does the Revenant like skulk?
I imagine he just withdraws deeper into his cowl and tries to keep, an eye out for whatever we're supposed to be here for.
Okay. Yeah, so that's good because it's at that point that there's a snap of lightning from basically nowhere, and then the infield, like if you're standing on the third base line, sort of in the outfield, and the infield, the space folds in on itself and then folds back out, and like the pitcher's gone, just gone, and in where the pitcher was standing, there's like primeval forests, a rock with a scared saber-toothed tiger, and Ruck standing on it. Ruck's holding a gun in the air, and then about 30 feet away from Ruck, there is what you have to assume, you're not maybe a paleontological expert, but a fairly large specimen of Tyrannosaurus Rex, just there. And it's at that point that the T-Rex lets out just the most ear-splitting Jurassic Park screech roar.
Screonk.
And the entire stadium goes from like cheering like crazy to panicked and fleeing and trampling each other. Just like that. The second baseman is like standing there frozen in fear, waiting to figure out what's going on. The poor catcher is like standing under the tip of the tail, right? Of the T-Rex. And the T-Rex turns its head one way and then the other way, and then it spots the first baseman.
I spring into action and like Rocketeer, like into the first baseman and grab him in my arms and like kind of spiral off a little bit.
Okay.
And
That sounds like you're just a serve and protect to me. So
sounds good.
give me a protect. I think it's protect is the stat.
Ooh, okay. So in the future, I should attack the dinosaur and not try to help people.
Good damn. Okay. So here's what happens.
Here's what doesn't happen. Things go smoothly.
All right. So the first baseman has fairly good reflexes. He's not used to. He's used to like the double play ball coming in. He's not used to giant. Well, he's not used to like college girl-sized missiles slamming at him. But he does manage to dodge it like ably. So that's good. What's not so good is he dodges in the direction of the T-Rex, and the T-Rex catches him in his mouth and like does the dog with like a chewy flourish and kicks him up into the air and like eats him. And then you like slam into the first base wall, barely missing the first base coach. I'm going to say you take a moderate condition, which I'm going to call concussed.
Okay.
All right. The T-Rex is licking his chops, or its chops, I don't even know if it's a man, and turning towards the still frozen second baseman.
So I want to try to prevent this thing from attacking anyone else. So
Okay.
I imagine. Okay, so yeah, I think the Revenant sort of kneels down and plunges his hands into the earth, and
Okay.
all around the T-Rex, these shadowy. I'm going to say they're also hands come up out of the ground and start latching onto this thing,
Okay.
trying to immobilize it.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds like a takedown. Or well, it could either takedown or serve and protect. Like, is your goal to not let anyone else get hurt, or is it to stop the T-Rex from moving around and doing stuff?
To not let anyone else get hurt.
Okay, that sounds like a serve and protect. So that's a protect roll.
Okay. Actually, is it only one backslash or slash?
I think it's, yeah, slash R G6. Okay.
Oh, these ones all over the place.
Okay, so for that you get you hold one, and you can spend it
Yes.
to redirect an attack to yourself later, reduce the effectiveness of an attack, open up the attacker to somebody else, or to create a bond with the person you're trying to protect. Okay,
Aww.
so you could like make friends with the second baseman if it comes up. Yeah, so you reach down into the earth, and these shadowy hands come up. Like, are they just like human-length grasping hands, or are they like giant demon hands that reach up and like grab the T-Rex, the tiny little arms, and hold him still? Like, what is?
So there's a lot more than just two. So there's like dozens of probably normal size hands. I'm used to confronting humanoid targets probably. So
Fair. Yeah.
but they're skeletal hands, and they probably have like these shadowy chains trailing behind each one that as soon as they latch on, they like go taunt
Okay.
and try to hold it in place.
All right. Cool. Yeah. So it is like grabbed and locked down, and like you see it sort of like lurch towards the second baseman, and like it's caught on the ground now, and it's momentarily confused at the very least. Yeah. Rock, how you feeling?
Well, I think the only obvious thing to do here is to hop on the back of Sam and then run around the dinosaur shooting it to try and, get it to attack me instead of the other people.
Okay.
Or maybe hit it with guns. I hear that's possible.
That'd be awesome. All right, so are you more concerned with it attacking you or with hurting the dinosaur? I guess is the question.
I guess I'm gonna go with hurting the dinosaur because like it attacking me is an acceptable outcome, but it's not my ideal outcome.
Okay. Yeah. So you're gonna Bronco this saber-toothed tiger that you just made friends with.
Yeah.
You ride it around. That sounds like maneuver to me.
Great.
That sounds like a takedown with maneuver. So you're like blasting away with space guns at this T-Rex as you ride it around. Give me a roll here, friends. Oh, nice.
Nice.
Okay, so you got to choose 3 from the list. Impose a condition. Choose once for minor, 2 for moderate, 3 for critical. Take away an advantage, which it doesn't really have. Force a change of location. Choose once and I get to pick where. Choose twice and you do. Or reduce the size of a mob by 1, which doesn't matter. Or take no harm in the doing.
I think I'm going to say that Ruck pulls out some kind of super space bola gun and imposes a critical condition on it. Just like, wraps it all up around, like, webbing around his mouth or something like that, and just really kind of tries to put it down. But, like, in the way, it's probably going to, like, manage to, like, smash him or land on him or something.
Yeah, okay, so what I'm imagining, is it a bullet gun, or is it like some sort of like space liquid tow cable, like you're taking down an
It's like some kind of weird energy liquid gun.
Okay.
It makes absolutely no sense, but whatever.
Yeah, so you do laps around this thing, and you impart the condition bound legs, right? And it's a critical condition, so it's like these are energy bonds, like energy bindings. So like you can all smell the legs like sizzling in a not terribly appetizing because it's a reptile way. Bound legs, critical. Yeah, so it's gonna have a really hard time moving around between the ghost hands and the bonds, and like the liquid rope. But the downside is because you didn't take no, right? Sam, in his like excitement to be involved and do this thing, right, runs you right under the tail of the T-Rex, and and Ruck catches it, sort of like neck, shoulder, chest area.
Yeah.
And is clotheslined off of Sam, and I'm gonna give you a moderate condition of. Man, I don't want to use concussed again, but it makes sense. I guess I go for head injuries a lot, apparently. Yeah, we'll go with concussed again. We'll go with bell rung. Bell rung here.
So, can I use my hold to make that only a minor?
You sure can.
Okay, so I'll say that the skeletal hands on the tail sort of reduce the momentum it can actually get.
Nice.
Create more drag, so it can't hit him quite as hard.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. So that's a minor. That'll be a minor condition that. It's bell rung. Headshot, whatever you want to call it. Just like you took a shot to the chest and head.
I really kind of like the idea of it being concussed again, because I have a feeling that's a thing that's happened a lot.
Concussed again. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. So. The hands like hold it and sort of counter turn it to the tail swipe at the last second as it becomes clear what's about to happen, lessening the impact. Did the hands then dissipate?
I have no idea how powers persist. So
well, I mean, you had one hold; it's kind of gone.
I guess so.
The question would be like, are you planning on using that again? Do we just want to keep them like in the field and play, or do you need to like resummon?
I think for now we'll let them fade as the holds are spent.
Okay, yeah. So the T-Rex basically sort of like twists its way out of those while still remaining bound at the legs. At this point, it's basically just going to like fall forward towards the second baseman.
I feel like now I need to reduce the change gravity around the basement so that it can't fall.
Yeah. So
Of course, second baseman.
the second baseman's like fainting goated out there in the infield. Serenity, I believe you're up. You are still digging yourself out of the remains of the first base wall.
Yes.
What do you got? Things bound. There's a saber-toothed tiger that seems to be playing along.
No, I totally rocket uppercut the fight with the T-Rex.
Nice. Nice.
Like, I do have fire powers, and I should be using the fire here, but I got clowns, so I'm going to, like, shake my head and just, like, sort of thing.
Okay. Yeah, and you can fly really fast, right? Like,
yeah.
That's the thing we've already covered. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, definitely. You rocket uppercut the T-Rex. Give me a smash takedown roll here.
Now I'm concussed, so I take -1 on the roll.
It's a moderate, so yeah, I mean, a concuss would probably like throw off your balance, probably. Yeah, it doesn't apply to everything, but it does apply to this, probably.
That's close enough.
All right, cool. So the 9, you get to choose 2. So you can impose a minor or moderate condition, take away an advantage, which doesn't have, force a change of location, or not get hurt by it.
And I get 2, right? Because of the 9.
You get 2. The change of location and the impose a condition both have extra levels you can buy them at, right? So if you want to throw a bigger condition on it, you spend 2 instead of 1, or 3, but you don't have 3. Or if you want to pick where it goes to, if you change location, you spend 2 instead of 1. If you spend 1 and change location, I get to pick where it goes.
All right, I am going to do the impose a condition. Oh man, choose 3 terms for critical. It's already got a condition though, right? Like,
it's got a critical condition of its legs being bound by the energy whips. Yeah.
Right.
Energy.
And how does something get taken out?
It takes a certain number of conditions based on the number of heroes fighting it. So
okay.
This guy is not, the T-Rex is not super hardcore. So it's going to need to take a total of, to get, unless you can find a way to kill it in the fiction, or like take it out in the fiction solidly, it's going to need 2 conditions per player. So 6. Okay.
All right. Well, I'll go ahead and inflict a minor condition then.
Okay. Okay.
And I'll inflict, like, a minor condition. What does that do?
Can I propose?
Yeah.
Yeah. I want you to knock a tooth or 2 out of the T-Rex. That's what I want.
Sure.
I want you to defang the T-Rex.
Yep. And then I'm going to take no harm in the doing.
Okay. Yeah. So you rocket uppercut this. I'm imagining you like pulling yourself out of the wall and like not even fully getting out of the dent / hole you punched in the wall last time, right?
There's like climbing up and then kicking off the rocket boosters, and just
like the first base coach like has to play.
And it's clearly not as effective as like setting it on fire would be, but still.
It's important to show the T-Rex who's ball.
Right.
So
it's the newspaper version. Right?
Mm-hmm.
No, bad T-Rex.
All right, so you smash this thing and like in the slow-mo in the news report that's going to come up, because this is a baseball game and there's like cameras there. Granted, they're like 1960s cameras and they're all like super wide shots, but like future like superhero aficionados are going to have like gifs of teeth flying out of this T-Rex as you smash into it. Right. Okay. Yeah, so he kicks up. The second baseman is spurred to action by your display and now starts has fallen over onto his back and is now like crab walking frantically towards the outfield. Revenant, you got something you want to do?
So yeah, I since that didn't seem to immobilize the Rex for as much as I was hoping, I'm going to try to reverse gravity for it and
Oh,
suspend
God.
it in midair.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, give me. I mean, that seems like a takedown.
Okay.
So give me a takedown with whatever your gravity powers are associated with. I mean, you're maneuvering the T Rex. I can also see like this as protect because you're like keeping him away from other things.
Yeah, that was the focus. That was a
Okay.
protection.
Yeah, cool.
thing,
We'll use
so
that.
yeah. A 7.
Nice. You get 2. Posing some conditions. Take force to change location. I don't think up in the air. Like if you want to go like way up in the air, that's possible. Or like take no harm. What do you get 2 points to spend?
Let's make this a moderate condition then.
Okay. All right. So moderate condition of
Just immobilized might not be
floating,
floating. No.
airborne. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So and you do take some. Or. Okay. I'll say this. I'm not going to do any harm to you. I'm going to do some harm to someone else. Well,
Okay.
going to put somebody else in danger, right? So it's hard to get just the T-Rex because it's so big, right?
Right.
You have to shift a lot of graviton. This thing moving up, right? So you get the T-Rex. You also get Sam the saber-toothed tiger,
Oh no.
right? You get the second baseman, who's a ways away but still like floating somewhat up in the air. And then you get Ruck, who is immediately under the T-Rex. He's now
Alright.
airborne with like a thrashing bound T-Rex. Ruck.
I'm sure he'll be fine.
Yeah, Ruck will be fine. Ruck's got. This is not the first time. This is not Ruck's first rodeo.
You think this is the first time I've had to like try and ride a dinosaur? Come on. That said, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Okay, so
Those of you that are on, those of you who are still on the ground, like looking up at the. How high are you trying to lift the T-Rex?
Not very. It's enough to get him off the ground, and not like have any traction to move.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, so those of you that have, like, I guess at this point it's only really. Okay, so. Serenity probably. The Firefly probably sees this, like, on her. And then the Revenant probably sees this from the ground. There's, like, helicopters. Like, 2 helicopters have sort of come in over the stadium and are flanking the observatory spaceship. You can't hear the helicopters though. They're complete. There's a lot going on down here, but you think you would probably be able to hear the helicopters. Like there's screaming people in the stands.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're black helicopters.
Okay.
There's screaming people in the stands. There's like an angry T-Rex. There's like whatever gravity shifting does to the air. All of that is happening and it's very, very loud. But yeah, Ruck, what you got, man? You are floating under a T-Rex. Your saber-toothed tiger's also there. He's looking at you like, bro, what have you gotten me into, bro?
all right. So the question number 1 is the time manipulating thingy 2. Is that also floating in the air with us?
Yeah, sure. That sounds awesome. Let's do that.
I imagine I'm floating through the air going, ha ha ha, and then like it just floats next to me, and I'm gonna kind of try and wedge the electro bolo gun onto it, and then send it to retract towards the dinosaur.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So that's the thing that just happened. You. All right. So we call that use environment to start with. So yeah, this will work if you can make it happen. So you like wedge the gun handle in like one of the carry handles on the machine. Are you setting the machine to do a thing before you let it go?
charging back up like it was before?
Yeah. Yeah. It's probably charged. It's hard to tell. You're floating around. It's all crazy. It may be ready to go. It may not. Who knows? Who knows what any of those readouts mean? Definitely not you.
I'm going to assume it's like it was last time, where it just decided to go after I did something dramatically appropriate. So I think that's good.
Okay.
I guess he was trying not be next to it.
Like backstroke away through the air. Let's move on.
I gotta say that somewhere in there he's got some sort of propulsion. I'm gonna call it a rocket sled.
Okay.
Like he pulls out a rocket sled and tries to aim towards the tiger, the saber-tooth tiger, so they can get him in it out of the way. So I don't want to like screw Sam and send him back a billion years before he came
That
from.
would suck for Sam. Yeah, give me a defy danger roll with maneuver to avoid being caught in your own shenanigans.
I feel like I need some kind of special power about avoiding my own shenanigans. Nope.
All right. God damn. Okay.
I have a thing that I'd like to try.
Okay. Does it involve? Is it before or after Ruck gets like time fucked?
It's like I'm thinking about the black helicopters in that rock right now. So
Okay. All right. Give me 1 second.
yeah. Fuck time.
All right. So there's like gravity weirdness going on, and as space time is just a continuum through like matter and or energy, right? So you reel this time machine towards time bomb, whatever, towards the T-Rex. You try to get Sam out of the way. I'm trying to figure out like what's an appropriate thing I can do to you at this point.
Well, so one idea is apparently it wasn't a rocket sled, but some sort of grab sled, which is not doing great things with the local environment now.
Oh God. No, I like this idea better. Okay, so the bomb reels in, and you see this in sort of slow motion. Everybody sort of sees this happen. Everybody's watching sort of sees this happen in slow motion. Time looks really funny when you've got like things floating gravitationally and like a thrashing dinosaur and whatever. So this time bomb reels towards the T-Rex. Sam Ruck like body slams into Sam with his comparatively tiny mass and attempts to push Sam out of the zone for this. And then the time bomb goes off, and the T-Rex, Sam, Ruck, and the second baseman all disappear.
Again.
In this, like, folding time thing, only to be replaced by sand and, like, some seawater. It's very strange. Yeah. And scene? Yeah. Okay. Serenity, you had a question. Do you have questions about the black helicopters? Because they're still there.
No, I was gonna blow them up on fire.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let's cut here. Since I'm drooping a little bit, it looks like Mike's drooping a little bit.
I've got a cold and it's killing me.
That's fine. It's fair. I mean, we've been going for 2.5 hours. There's a lot going on. Yeah, I think time displacing the T-Rex, saber-tooth tiger, and a random bystander is a really good place to end an issue, and we can come back to that next time. Yeah. Anybody got questions about what just happened? Did the game make sense? Like the mechanics of the thing make sense?
Yeah.
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 I mean,
Does it feel like there's a way that I could better facilitate the actual like doing of the thing?
I'm not seeing it. I mean, we're getting a little weirdness because intentionally we have different styles of stories being told.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, I fully expected this to get super weird, right? And we're only starting to get super weird, right? I'm totally cool with that. I'm not against that at all. I was mostly like, do the things you're trying to do produce outcomes mechanically or narratively that make sense and feel okay so far?
Yeah.
The moves and the attributes. There's learning to mesh the two of them will be interesting.
Yeah,
Because I'm gonna do a thing. I'm like, all right, what does that sound like? It sounds like a thing. And I know that's largely what you're there for as a game master, but yeah, it's just a thing.
yeah. I mean, I think it'll come. They're
Explode it over
pretty,
time.
yeah, they're pretty straightforward in that in basically all but like two instances, you're rolling a specific move with like protect. The protect stats like is just basically there to serve and protect, like protect people, right? So it lines straight up with that move. The like investigate and investigate move, the investigate stat and the investigate move line straight up, like yeah. I mean, it's just it's a new set of moves and stats for a new Powered by the Apocalypse game. There's going to be a learning curve, but for the most part, they seem to line up fairly well. So once we sort of develop common definitions of these things in our own heads, it'll probably go a little smoother.
The only other thing I have is it's not a comment about the game. I'm just boggled by the fact that there is no Rocketeer cosplay for ladies with pants.
Oh, yeah. You'd think a skirt would be deeply impractical for that.
A skirt would be an improvement. Google Rocketeer cosplay.
I probably won't be doing that, but yeah. Okay. Did everybody have fun?
Yes, let's do it again.
Is everybody excited about the next time we get to do this? I am. Thanks for coming out, guys. I appreciate you sitting down and subjecting yourself to whatever it is that I try to do. Thank you for showing up, Twitch viewer. We're happy to have you. Have fun, play games, be cool to people, and live your best life. Thanks for coming. We'll be back in a couple weeks. Night, everybody.
I just realized now that I have to press the turn off stream button.